Welcome back here to the channels Tapa-Olho Azul and Super Acadêmico, and today we're going to keep on our playlist from the book New Rules of Sociological Methods from the author Antony Giddens. For those that are not subscribed to the channels, please subscribe. They're both good channels. My channel, Super Acadêmico, and my son's channel, Tapa-Olho Azul, are great channels with contents of academic nature in my case, and entertainment games in the case of my son's channel, Tapa-Olho Azul. So what else? Please, besides subscribing to the channels, give likes to our videos and share and comments to help our channels to grow. So let's go. In the last video we talked about the identification of acts and agency. If you don't remember, please take a look at the last video, the number 5. Today is the number 6 video of this series, of this playlist. And today we're going to talk about, in the same chapter, agency, act identifications, communicative intent, the topic of the rationalization, the rationalization of action. So it's the way that we rationalize our actions. First highlights: act identifications often serve as adequate response to why questions referring to human conduct. So when we identify ourselves in some action, an act that we did, we often rationalize the why we did such action. It's a way of deal and accept the way things were, things went. Distinctions between purpose, reasons, and motives are also fuzzy in everyday discourse. These terms are quite often interchangeable, so people used to use purpose, reasons, and motives meaning the same thing. Human agents are able to monitor their activities as various concurrent flows. Human agents, us, we are able to monitor and to watch our activities as various different concurrent flows in different ways of seeing, different flows, a different way of seeing. We see this as a science, we see this as a father, you see this as a consumer. So these different flows affects the way that we rationalize the action. The rationalization of conduct express the cause anchoring of agency in tying purpose to the conditions of their realization within ongoing practice of day-to-day life. So this is very important, these highlights. And because you see, when we rationalize something that we did, the conducts, we put, that's the way he says, an anchor in the meaning of what we did, to join and to tie the purpose to the conditions of what we thought inside, realizing within the things that we see in everyday life. For example, when we punish our children, for example, we often act in the way that the punishment is something that we do in response to the action of the child. So it's an act of the moment, mostly act by some emotion, some angry, some emotion that says that the child should not do that. So we react emotionally doing the punishment. Later, we tend to rationalize this by saying that the punishment that we did was a way to help the children to grow, help the child to grow, to learn, as if the punishment was some kind of an educational process. I'm not saying that it's not educational. I'm saying that that's the way we rationalize the process of the act that we did, especially when we do with our own children. Meaning and communicative intent. So the intentions that we have as we communicate things not necessarily has to do with the meaning of the message. We may ask such why questions about: we want to know why a man said something, rather than why he did something in particular, about his communicative intent. So the why questions is a response to an action, and most of all, a response to the thing that the person said about his action. Why did you do that? Why did you act that way? There is an obvious convergence between recent work in the philosophy of language and the ideas developed by Noam Chomsky, and his followers on transmissional grammars. See language use as a skilled and creative performance. So Noam Chomsky is known for his works in many areas, but mostly about the use of language to processing things in a society, in the way that language helps a society to learn and grow as itself, to develop, like a natural language, a language of self-learning, something like that. I really, I confess, I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert in anything really, but I'm not very well known of the work of Noam Chomsky. I just know him, know the field that he develops his thinking. And so assuming this theory, this contribution of Noam Chomsky to the philosophy of language, I think that Giddens is trying to say that to analyze, to study society, we need to take a look of these performances. The role of common sense understandings and the role of common sense understandings, or what I shall later refer to as taking for granted mutual knowledge in human social interaction. So the human social interaction is full with this common sense understanding, or the thing that's taken for granted, like taken for granted by the social science, in a way to say, because it's the thing that we do more often, our common language, common sense understandings about the things. So when we ignore this attribute of the social language, of the language of the common language, we close ourselves as thinkers, as scholars, students, researchers of society, to understand better what is really going on in a society. And for finishing the chapter 2, some of the basic difficulties of interpretative sociology, the failure to cope with problems of institutional organization, power and struggle as integral features of social life. No, the power fight, the power struggle, the presence of power relations, the struggle between actors in a society is an integral feature in the social life. He's saying that it's ignored. Maybe in in English language, sociology is ignored, but here in Brazil, it's not. It's the main theme of our sociology is the power relations. Examination of why such a reconciliation is not already to be found in those established traditions of social theory. The orthodox academic sociology of Durkheim and Parsons, and the counter tradition, the opposite tradition, originating in the writings of Marx. So he's saying he will return to these questions in the third chapter. So the thing is that the power relations that contribute to the language, I think, contributes a lot to the language, especially in a society like my society, Brazilian society, where these power relations are predominant. And since we didn't learn historically how to act as citizens, participants in the society. So always we have learned to behave like we are obeying someone more powerful, in a way that every little relation in society is filled with that. Giddens is saying that every society is this way, but the sociology of the English language sociology seems to ignore that. He mentioned Durkheim and Parsons, two great big sociologists that worked in the way of analyze society with these big themes, ignoring the individual contribution. And he's saying that instead of despite of the Marx sociology is filled with these power relations about class struggle, but it's not focused in the individuals. It's not focused in the relation and power relation between individuals, but between classes. So he's trying to bring this contribution to this big sociology theories. Well, let's see in the next chapters. And I haven't finished the book yet. I'm in the end, but I haven't finished yet. There's a few pages to finish, about 30 or 20 pages less, maybe less. But this second chapter was very rich with new ideas. The third chapter will bring the classical sociology again with this relation, with these new contributions that he's bringing, and the fourth is like his contribution, and the final one is just the conclusions, the new aspects. Well, I don't want to get too long now. I'm just trying to say that thank you for listening to this video, and I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channels, give the like, comments, and share the video. See you next time with this playlist or other English videos in English. Bye bye.